Hello, welcome to my channel. My name's Amanda and I love crafting and decor and makeovers. Today I'm going to share with you some of the autumn crafts that I have previously made that are going to go around the house as part of our fall decor with the things that we've bought from Hobbycraft and TK Maxx, which I've shown in previous hauls. We'll combine all the things together to make our house nice and cozy for the fall season. I do like to add my own touch to things, so I do like to use homemade things around the house, but also mix them in with bought things, and I think you get a really nice effect. The last thing I'm going to make for autumn is a pom-pom wreath. I'm going to show you how to make that in this video. It's so simple. You don't need any hot glue guns, so you don't need to get into a mess. You'll just be tying the pom-poms onto the wreath. It's so simple. The equipment is really reasonable, cheap. I mean, I got most of it from Poundland or Hobbycraft, so it's not expensive, way cheaper than buying a wreath, because, I mean, I think the cheapest wreaths you can buy are about £12. This will look really nice. I'm going to make it for the door of my bedroom. And I guarantee that you'll really enjoy it if you do make one. You don't have to make one for autumn. You could, do whatever colour palette you want, and you can make a Christmas one or any colour scheme to go in any room. Because I think you can have a wreath at any time of year. So those balls of wool, I got those from Poundland. You get 3 for the price of 2, and they're actually £2. For 3 balls of wool, which is really good price, because wool can be expensive, and they do a good range of colours. Then these pom-pom makers, I know you can use forks, you can use cardboard, but I do like these pom-pom makers because they're so simple. They're from the pound shop. That one, I think I did get that from Hobbycraft, but they're all reasonable and cheap. You need yourself a good sharp pair of scissors. I think I got those from IKEA. But they are nice and sharp. A pair of blunt scissors will be harder to cut through the wool. And then this polystyrene wreath, it's got a flat back, so I think that sits nicely against the door. You can get them round. I think I did actually get that from Poundland. One Christmas they had them in, and I bought a load. I didn't see any last year, so I have also bought them from Hobbycraft and other crafting places. They're usually between £1 and £2, so they're not expensive at all. So I'm just going to show you how to use the pom-pom maker if you've not seen one before. You have holes and then sort of sticky out bits, so you fit the sticky out bit into a hole, hold it together tight, and then you just hold your piece of wool on. And once you've wrapped it around a few times, it will stay in place, and then you just keep wrapping. And it's up to you how thick. Obviously, the thicker you wrap, the more the bigger your pom-pom will be. So if you want a really thin pom-pom, you just need to go backwards and forwards a couple of times. What I tend to do is go quite tight together for the first run through, and then I go back on myself, leaving gaps. Then I go back the other way, filling in the gaps that I've missed. And you just keep going backwards and forwards until you're happy with the thickness. As I say, you can do that as many times as you like. Then you just swap it, just pull the wool round to the other side and do the same thing again. So it's really simple. As I say, you can do it on a piece of cardboard, but I find that tricky because you have to cut the cardboard out after. You can use a fork. I think you can even wrap them around your hand or around chair or something like that. So it's so simple, but as I say, I do like the pom-pom maker. Then you just snap it shut, close those little fastenings, and then you get your scissors, cut your wool. That'll disappear in there at some point, and then you just put your scissors in the gap and cut all the way around. Then when you've done that, you need to cut yourself. Now, because we're tying it onto the wreath, you need to cut yourself quite a long piece of wool. See, when you're making a pom-pom normally, you don't really need a long one because you actually want to cut it off after. But because we want to tie it on, we need a nice long piece. So you just pull that through and then tie a knot. I usually tie 2 or 3 knots. I think 2 is good enough. just to make sure it's really secure. And you can pull it really tight so it's quite stretchy. And then once you've done that, you just need to take your clips off, and then pull them off, and then you've got your pom-pom. I like to then give it a little sort of roll it into a ball to get a sort of a pom-pom shape, and then just cut off any excess bits. You might find the bit that you wrapped around is sticking out, so you just cut that off, and then you just give it a haircut until you're happy with it. The more you cut it, the fluffier your pom-pom gets. So now all you've got to do is tie your pom-pom onto the wreath. Just tie it nice and tight. The beauty is, even though you've tied it tight, you can still adjust it, so you can pull it backwards and forwards along the wreath. I tend to like to have sort of a row of sort of medium-sized ones along the edge, and then the big ones on the top, and then the small ones, small pom-poms on the inside. But depending on where there's gaps, you can kind of pull the pom-poms backwards and forwards to fit, which is the beauty of the tying on technique as opposed to using the glue gun. I find the glue gun can sort of ruin the shape of the circle because you kind of lose it as you're gluing them on. And of course, once you've glued something, you can't reposition it. So I do think this is a much better way of doing it. So definitely would recommend that. So all I've got to do now is I keep making pom-poms, and then I get all my pom-poms together and then just tie them all on. So keep watching till the end and you'll see my beautiful wreath, which I'm so pleased with. And as I say, I'm sure you could make one just as beautiful. They look really professional. So go for it.